Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on the crypto markets. This beautiful and hot Wednesday where I live. We're going to do a full update. We'll talk about the fundamentals. We'll talk about the technicals. We'll talk about what to expect. The move we had this morning, which was amazing. All right, it's certainly welcome, but ultimately it leaves some risks as well. And at this point of time, I think. After a very successful touch right here at the point of control area and the 30-day rolling VWAP at 105.3, I think we can safely assume that Bitcoin and therefore the market, although I must say, and this is a great sign as well, there's some altcoins that are actually starting to outperform the market. So that's great, but most of the market is still dependent on Bitcoin, right? So I think we can safely assume that Bitcoin is going to remain stable. But whether we can get a bullish breakout, which we failed to do so on Sunday and Monday, but we also failed to do that for the entirety of last week, that remains a question. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about Ethereum, we'll talk about XRP, we'll look at those, and then we will also take a look at some specific altcoins and that I think have potential. First of all, though, talking about the fundamentals real quick. So the fundamentals, there's quite a lot going on, especially if you follow all the news, like I do. But what I've said very often in these videos is that you can try to stay on top of all the news and everything that's going on, but ultimately the best way to stay on top of the news and to stay on top of if the news that's coming out has an effect on the markets is just to look at the data, right? And if you take a look at the data right now, you can see that the stock markets, the US equities, are fairly stable. The S&P 500 opened a little bit lower, but at this point of time is back at the same prices as as yesterday. The volatility index, which is one of the major indicators together with gold, about whether there's unrest and whether there's instability in the world, those are all fine. Volatility index is low and gold is just consolidating, so it's not rallying, and there's also not a huge amount of volume. So I think it's fine. I mean, it's good to be aware of, and it certainly matters. But it's good to be aware of everything that's going on, right? Regarding the trade deals and some tensions between Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. And then also today, just in general, everything that's going on. It's good to be aware of that. But ultimately, you shouldn't blow it up in your head if it's not really affecting the markets that much. So yeah, that's what I think you need to know regarding the fundamentals. At this point of time, nothing that makes me say, all right, I think we're going to break down. And like I said, the price action we've seen from Bitcoin so far is great. I mean, what I said earlier this morning, I think it was right here, the price was at like 107,000. I said, the main thing I need to see right now is just that we, first of all, get some volume in this. The volume this morning was quite good, especially for the Asian and the European session. It was quite high, but ultimately you want that volume to stay around. And then second of all, I would also like to see a good reaction to some of the imbalances that we left. And I think that's also the main question with this move that we've seen with Bitcoin. Like, all right, it's logical in a way that we had this move. I mean, we also had some imbalances still at 108.1. Which we have now filled. But first of all, I mean, I think a breakout is a possibility, a bullish breakout. But I would be very surprised, to say the least, if we leave all of these imbalances we left, which it's a mix of fair value gaps and single prints, if we leave all of those untouched. Especially while being at resistance, while, the volume was quite good here after the New York Open, definitely, and that's why I'm saying I think a bullish breakout is a possibility. But when we're in a range, the most likely thing that's going to happen for the majority of the time is that the range will hold, right? So therefore, I think that stability I do expect for Bitcoin, right? So I don't think we're going to break down below our main support level right here at 106.3, 106.5. But I do think, and hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me, but I do think it's more likely that short term will push up a little bit higher, but that we will fill those imbalances first before we have a real chance to break out. All right, so yeah, those are my thoughts on Bitcoin. That's my prediction. Short term, a little bit more bullish momentum possible, but after that, I do expect a pullback, then stability, and from that stability, we'll see again. From that stability, I would say, as long as the fundamentals stay good, we can expect a bullish breakout. And I think in general, the main thing that you should the main way you should look at Bitcoin is just to be ready for whatever is happening. I mean, Bitcoin is back in the same balance that it's been in for the last week. Just wait for the breakout, all right? And then if we have a breakout, look at the fundamentals, look at the volume, look at the technicals on the lower time frames to say this is a real breakout or a fake out, and then position yourself afterwards. I mean, it makes no sense, in my opinion, to long Bitcoin right now. I mean, it's looking strong. That's why I'm saying I think we can rally a bit higher. But if you're longing right now, you're longing into resistance, right? So wait for that confirmation and then position yourself. And I think that's the case for most altcoins. I mean, XRP is relatively stable right here. I think it's most likely it's going to move up as well, but nothing tradable in my eyes, at least not on a 4-hour time frame. Same thing with Ethereum. I think the main opportunities are either after waiting for that confirmation, which is a great thing to do, right? Or it's with other altcoins. All right. So if we look at other altcoins, you can see some coins that are rallying right here, like Sui, like Virtual. But what I prefer to do is to take a look at volume. If we take a look at volume, we first of all see that there's quite a lot of scam coins. So be aware of that. But still, Virtuals is up there. That's quite good. A personal favorite of mine is Arbitrum. Arbitrum has a lot of momentum. So it's coins like that, right? That I think you need to focus on. It's a little bit of a limited supply in terms of coins that have that momentum at this point of time. It's also summer markets. But look at those, right? Filter by volume. And I think altcoins, if you really want to position yourself right now, I think it's with altcoins and not necessarily with Bitcoin, unless we have that confirmation. But those are my thoughts on the fundamentals on Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, and some altcoins, even though I should have spent some more research on altcoins before the video. But make sure to join, by the way, the Telegram and the Discord group as well, because right now in there, I'm posting momentum picks, which is basically, two or three altcoins every day, or at least I try to do it every day, that have momentum. So if you're interested in that, consider joining that. But for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and bye.